Hey. All right. Um, gonna do a hopefully fairly quick live stream. Got a handful of things to go over, but uh, seeing as I'm sober, this should go a bit quicker than other times, but we'll see. Um, First of all, I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and I hope you have a Happy New Year. For those that celebrate other holidays that are not Christmas, during this time. I hope you had a wonderful time with that. And every every couple decades, the whole "Merry Christmas is offensive" comes up, or "How dare you be offended by Merry Christmas?" People will find reasons to be offensive. And for those that are complaining about people not wanting to hear Merry Christmas, if that gets you really offended, are you that much different than those that are getting offended in the first place? If someone wishes you Happy Hanukkah, the proper response is thank you, Merry Christmas to you, or thank you, Happy Hanukkah to you, or thank you, Happy Holidays, whatever, right? Whether it be Kwanzaa, fun backstory on where that one originated from. Uh, mm, Not jumping into that one though. So, first thing I would like to cover is the lovely turkey holidays, right? We did not do turkey for Christmas. I know, I know. That was the world crying for me not having turkey. No, I like turkey just as much as the next person. I prefer ground turkey. Really like sliced turkey. Turkey on the bone? All right, it's fine. But those big giant fucking turkeys, they're not easy to cook. They take a while, and people get burned out on them pretty quick. So, I don't know. You got Thanksgiving, then you got Christmas, then you got Easter, and everyone wants a ham and a turkey for all of those. Why? Tradition. Okay. Does anyone really want it? What about a little Cornish game hen? Pretty good. Throw two of those in for a family of four. Throw in a small little ham or some pork roast, a little bit of meatloaf, right? Boom. Now, for much less work, you have three options. Fucking pile them all on, right? Calm down. This whole turkey thing, as a dude, speaking to other dudes, I'm assuming we can all go, who cares? But because it's tradition and it's been built up in how many times, if you're old like me, if you experience the, it's my turn. I'm going to show up my sister. I'm going to show mom I can be a, or I'll prove to your mom that I can be a good wife. And meanwhile, we're all just like, uh, football is coming on in a bit. Uh, we're all going to watch football. Okay, time to eat. All right, let's eat and then rush in there to watch some football. Christmas, yeah, same thing. So this whole, oh, you're pushing expectations on us. I cannot speak for all men, nor can I expect you to speak for all women. But on my behalf, relax with the turkey. I don't care. Pizza, fucking fantastic. Christmas pizza should be a thing. Right? I think so. Or Thanksgiving pizza. Pick one to do the turkey thing so that you can be all impressive and make everyone happy. But not for me. And then the other one, pizza. I prefer pizza for Christmas because you can spell out fucking Merry Christmas. You can do the red and green peppers, decorate it. Like, you can make it into a thing, right? Get a frozen pizza and get all the fucking, yeah. Everyone can take pictures and throw them on Instagram of my Christmas pizza was Grinch designed. Yeah. Be like fucking birthday cake for everybody. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Christmas pizza. Not saying I invented it, but I thought of it and I like it. I'm going to push that. You should too. We can make this a thing, people. We can make Christmas pizza a thing. So work has been lovely. Interesting people who have interesting differences. That's my Merry Christmas wish to you. Jesus. This is why I do these things drunk generally. Sober me is a little more manic. Yeah, I've had like 2 shots all night. Anyways, I work with some great people. And I don't understand the bickering over silly shit. I don't understand why someone would go out of their way to try to cause difficulties on their coworker when it doesn't benefit them at all. You're not competing for the same promotion. You don't even have the same job. You're totally different departments. Why? Why? I'm still new, and I am in management. I am the newest of them all. There was a gentleman who had 2 managers today pull him aside to correct him on some things he's doing that could get him in trouble. Nothing major, like, hey, you're developing some habits that are non-conducive. And they're very cool about it, but dude's just defensive. And I get it. People get defensive. But he's a real good kid. And hopefully he takes it as helpful advice from people who want the best from him. And that's kind of the thing at work. Hopefully we can develop a team mentality. Not likely. But if we can somewhat try to work together as a team, maybe not, let's all do the best job so we can all be successful. I'd love that, but realistically, I am hoping for. I'm going to do my job as good as I can, so I don't get bitched at. And I'm not going to screw that person over so they get bitched at. Let's try to get through the day with no one getting bitched at. That's what I'd like. I am sure I will occasionally update you on the progress of making this ragtag group of people not dick each other over. Could happen. So, I've not done this in a while, but I am going to do advice to. Ooh, sorry, just got a picture. That's pretty funny. I would like to give advice. I believe I'm good at giving advice in person with someone I know. I try to ask a lot of questions and see where your thoughts are, and just ask you questions so that you answer my questions, and answering those questions will give you some insight. But that's not so much giving advice as walking someone through the process of figuring it out. This is a stranger who types out a problem, and I read it and advise on the problem. Okay. I'm much more clear and concise when drinking. My parents gave me an ultimatum about getting married. I am 16-year-old female and currently 24 weeks pregnant. And when my parents found out, they kicked me out. Okay. Well, they kicked you out. One, kicking out a pregnant woman, that's rough. But they gave you an ultimatum, but they kicked you out. Can they really give you an ultimatum then? I would say no. Ultimatum is you do this or, well, we'll see. Now I live with my boyfriend, 16-year-old male. I'm assuming and his brothers. My relationship with my parents was getting better. On Christmas, they told me and my boyfriend that if we don't get married, that's the ultimatum about getting married, before I give birth, then they are cutting us off. Communication wise, not money wise. We don't get any money from them. I really don't know what to do. I adore my boyfriend and see myself getting married to him, but I don't think either of us are ready for that. I don't want to loose my parents. Sorry, grammar. As I've always been very close with them, but I'm shocked they would put me in this position. I live in Oklahoma. It's legal to get married at 16. All right. Here's my advice. Call their bluff, right? Call their bluff. First of all, they're trying to control you. And that's what parents do. It's what good parents do. It's what bad parents do sometimes. Too much control obviously is bad. I'm not saying being controlling is good, but being a good parent, you try to control and help your kid. They obviously love you and care, but they kicked you out. That's strike one. So they were not wanting to be there for you. They kicked you out. Now, it sounds like they've got some compromise to alleviate their ego and pride by forcing you to get married. Now, you want to marry the dude? Fuck yeah. Marry him. But not right now. You marry him now, then it will always be you married him for the wrong reasons. So my advice is call their bluff. Say, Mom, Dad, I love you. I always want you in my life, and I want you in your grandchild's life. But you cannot force me to do anything. If you choose to walk away, that is your choice, and it hurts me. But it's your choice. You are walking away from your daughter and your grandchild. And it hurts me. But you cannot control me. When I marry Jimmy John, because he's freaky fast, it's a food place, it will be because I choose to, not because you force me to. So you can walk away. And I'll be hurt. But I have Jimmy John. And we'll get through this. You raised me strong. And I have a good man. We want you, but we don't need you. Boom. That's my advice. Now the update. Thank you all so much for the lovely support. It's borderline overwhelming. Well, you're a pregnant 16-year-old, so your emotions were already woo. But we've decided not to get married. We're working on a plan how to move forward with telling my parents and the possibility of no contact. That sounds fantastic. I mean, well, it sounds awful, but it's the best option. You pull a Neville Chamberlain now in kowtow, they will always control you. I hope they see the light. Don't know if the microphone picked that up, but I farted. Pretty good fart, though. Now, a coworker, a fellow manager, although much higher in a much different area, I suggested a movie that I believe this person will enjoy. And the movie is Gone, Baby, Gone. Now, I'm not going to go through spoilers and explain the whole movie. It's directed by Ben Affleck. I believe it's his second directing job. Casey Affleck is the star with Michelle Monaghan. It's a near perfect movie. I adore this movie. Even if you don't see it as exciting or, really, if it doesn't tickle your fancy, if you are a movie person, you should still be able to at least respect what it does. Oh, Morgan Freeman's in it as well. how good a movie is it when you forget, oh yeah, Morgan Freeman. Just a fucking stacked cast, too. There is, right at the end, a big, shocking twist. And the two lead characters are in a conundrum because they have to make a choice. And they don't agree on what the right choice is. Right? And ultimately, the choice made has major ramifications for everybody. And it brings up I use similar examples when I present this question to people. When you have to choose between doing what's good or doing what's right, which do you choose? Now, I know what you're thinking. What do you mean? Do the right thing. What if doing the right thing isn't doing a good thing? No. It's always do good things. Do the right thing. Okay, what if you have to break the rules to do the good thing? Well, you're still doing the right thing. Well, not always. I used to drink a lot. And I spent some time in a 12-step program. And I was pretty good at it. I went about a decade without drinking. Very successful. Not as successful these days at it, but I can go without drinking. Hell, I haven't had a drink in 13 minutes ish. Now, while doing those steps, one of the steps you come across is make amends. You know what? While I was drinking, I was shoplifting from this candy store because I love sweets. And, you know, that poor store owner in Nome, Alaska really struggled to pay his bills sometimes. And I did him wrong. So I got a little money saved up. I should pay him. That's making amends. That's the right thing to do. And it's a good thing to do. Simple. Now, when I was drinking a lot, I was a named partner in a law firm, and I made some billing adjustments. You know, I was trying to cover my tracks for all the drinking I did, and I fudged the numbers. And the right thing to do is go to the bar, admit what was done, and make sure that those people that were overbilled are compensated for the damage done. That's the right thing to do. Although it will really destroy my firm and the other named partner, who's never done anything wrong, is going to suffer because of it. His livelihood could be taken away. At the very least, his reputation is destroyed. And he will never be able to achieve many of his goals. So it's not a very good thing to do. The right thing to do is make amends. But it's not good to sink my buddy who did nothing wrong. That's fucked up. It's just good versus right. When they don't agree, what do you do? That's Itty Bitty George. He's grown along. He's come a long way. He's grown quite a bit. Let's see. We're at the not quite 30-minute mark. So I would like to share with you something ridiculously entertaining. Everyone likes Game of Thrones. But what you may not know is they did a musical for Red Nose Day. For the Americans that aren't familiar with Red Nose Day, it's April 1st. And it's when a bunch of celebrities and famous people get together and do silly things to raise money for charity. Mostly cancer, I believe. And one of the things that they did, and they got a lot of the original cast together for it. It was a musical of Game of Thrones done by Coldplay. Just hilarious. It was, everybody had their own little thing. Jon Snow did Wildling instead of Wild Thing. Yeah. Just great fun. Fucking great fun. And this was Emilia Clarke's Rastafarian Targaryen. It's very short.
Do you know what? I've never been prouder to be in anything. I always knew it was going to be a triumph. George R. Martin meets Chris Martin. What could go wrong? Game of what now? Hey, hey, hey. I'm a Rastafarian, Targaryen. I got some dragons and they're very scary. And been here and there and then I've been everywhere again. Rastafarian. Targaryen, call me the nearest Targaryen when you wanna reach me. And if you feel the love, then you can call me Khaleesi. Got so many names. I'm Queen of the Andals, Queen of the Marine. Yeah, you can kiss me sandals.
Emilia Clarke has one of the best smiles. Her entire face lights up, like her eyes disappear. just fantastic smile. There's a video series that I like to watch on charisma and humility and just various things that make people more successful at being better versions of themselves. But one of the examples they use is Keanu Reeves and Emilia Clarke. Keanu Reeves with his soft, calming personality, and Emilia Clarke and this thing she does, this bright smile. When someone says something, she repeats part of it to show I'm listening to you. Big smile, reacts to it, and yeah, it makes you feel engaged. It makes you feel as though the person wants to speak to you, as though the person cares what you're saying. It makes you feel more confident, which makes you open up more, which makes the conversation better. Now, obviously, these aren't step-by-step rules on how to interact with people. They are just we all have our strengths and weaknesses. We all have our base persona. And try to be yourself. Try to engage with the other person and allow them to be themselves. And that is where good interactions and good social building can come from. Now, I don't practice any of these things. I'm a fucking absolute disaster when it comes to socialization, and I'm generally a hermit unless I'm going to work. And even then, I'm difficult to deal with. But I do enjoy the study people. Now, on a previous video, I brought on a gentleman, interesting guy who has some good and bad opinions. And our first couple conversations, he was very open to hearing your take on something. This last one, he got rather argumentative and standoffish, and it was not so much conversations as like battles, which I'm not a fan of. I don't want to debate you. I want to have a conversation with you. And we disagree on something, great. Tell me why you feel that way. I'll tell you why I feel this way. Maybe we can find a compromise in the middle. At the very least, we can understand why we are disagreeing on something. But this person had no ideas to offer. It was only, you're wrong because prove you're right. Well, I made valid statements on this and this. Which part of that, idea do you not feel is accurate, or do you feel is unfair? And it just became non-conducive to conversation. And various topics were brought up, but one of which, the one I feel is the most important, is big versus small government. And there are, one, you could read the Federalist Papers, which is often used as an explanation of why big government is better than small government. But I believe that's misleading and unfair. The Federalist Papers, I believe, a lot of it's Hamilton and Madison. I think they are a great example of how two people that disagree on something can find the things they agree on, which, this is how the Constitution was written, or how it was ratified. New York wanted like 100 fucking amendments, and Virginia wanted none. They wanted the fucking preamble, and that's it. And the Federalist Papers was people of wildly opposite sides coming together, and it's a beautiful compromise, which is how we got those 10 amendments. And I think that compromise is what makes our government the greatest experiment. And I do feel as though we have shifted to federalist and not so independent as we were. So I would like to say the letters exchanged between John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, I believe, still to this day stands up as the best argument between two brilliant people, which neither are wrong, neither are disingenuous, between federalism and states' rights. John Adams, the second president, was a federalist. He believed in a strong central government with the ability to make broad interpretations of the Constitution. He believed that the Constitution granted a central government implied powers and the final say on the law. And one of those, he believed, was the formation of a central national bank. Now, Thomas Jefferson, anti-federalist, believed in a weak central government with more power at the states and local governments. He thought the Constitution limited the central government to specific powers, and that a powerful central government would threaten liberty and individual rights. Now, just that quick little blurb, which one's right, which one's wrong? Obviously, they're both right. They both agree 85% of the way. The federal government should and does have the final say over states' rights. But the federal government does overstep regularly. In the 1800 election, Jefferson defeated John Adams. And the two remained estranged forever. So, what are the benefits to a strong central government? The benefits are standardization. Everyone will be on the same standard. Each state won't wildly differ. And their laws and their rules and their basic day-to-day life. What is the downside? Your day-to-day life is being determined by a far-off entity that is difficult to control. It makes you a subject to a king. Granted, a rotating king, but a king nonetheless, as opposed to your boss's boss. The president, in my humble opinion, should be my governor's boss, not the one that controls my daily life. Let's look at 3 states. Let's look at New Mexico, New York, and Oregon. New Mexico is a rather conservative state. They are a pretty mellow, lax state. Very much my experience in New Mexico, in rural New Mexico, was very unconcerned with whether I'm smoking pot in my living room. Very unconcerned if I have fireworks. Very unconcerned about me getting a little drunk and having a little bonfire in the backyard and passing out pretty close to naked. The police were like, hey, neighbors called. They thought your house was on fire. See, you got a nice little rock wall. You got water sources available. That's great. But you were asleep, so you need to put the fire out. If you're going to pass out, put your bonfire out before you go to sleep. It's not safe. Come on, dude. But I'm driving a car, or when I was riding my bike, my motorized bike, they were all about breathalyzer. Like, they were extremely tough on making sure you're sober enough to drive. I like that. And, you know, town of 1,700 or town of 7,000. The mayor is a guy that runs a barber shop, or, you know, you're all you know each other. They know what the basic, this is what we need. This is what we need to do. This is what makes the town fucking function. Someone in Albuquerque, 5.5 hours away, is dealing with an entirely different set of issues. Guns is a very important issue in a city that makes up 60% of the population of the state, but less than 4%, less than 2% of the physical location of the state. So yeah, I mean, 90% of the murders happen in one place. So yes, you need to have some laws in place. You need to have things to crack down on crime and create order here. Now, over here in this town of 1700, they don't have murders. They don't have shootings. They don't have violence. I mean, everyone has a gun, but that's because of coyotes and rattlesnakes, right? So, different life, different needs. We can focus on our stuff. Like, you have to prove to me that those Albuquerque laws should apply to Hobbs. I don't gain anything from it here in Hobbs. You gain shit from it in Albuquerque. So make it a law in Albuquerque. Now, the United States is one of the largest nations in the world. Europeans love to chuckle, oh, you've never traveled anywhere. What's the farthest you've driven from your house? My nephew, I drove him. If we were to make just a straight drive from where we started to where we went, not coming back, we're talking 22 hours drive. I mean, it took us 2 weeks because, Memphis and San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Sumter, Roswell. Roswell's funny. So many stops, but Grand Canyon, Four Corners, shit, man, Santa Rosa. It's the equivalent of a kid from London going to not quite Cairo. You're a kid in London and you're going all the way to Hungary, driving there and never leaving the country. So yes, a state really is a country. I mean, size-wise, government-wise, population-wise. Yeah, the difference between Tennessee and Nebraska might not be huge, but they absolutely face different issues, different types of people, different weather. They're a large distance away. So yes, small government is better than big government. And what my esteemed friend kept pointing out was, obviously big government is better because why does India exist? Why does Russia exist? Why this and that? Simple. Big governments have big armies. Big armies conquer. That's why the United States was such a wonderful experiment. 50 countries sharing one massive army amongst all of them to defend these United States. It's brilliant. So let's go with that. Yes, we need federal laws. I like the first 10 amendments. I think 11 amendments is really what we need. And repeal all the rest. Wait a minute. What do you mean repeal all the rest? Well, simple. After the 10th Amendment, what amendments actually matter? I mean, well, the abolishment of slavery. Yeah, that should be covered in the first 10. You just got to apply the 10 amendments, which is why I propose 11 amendments, maybe 12, but let's stick with 11. You take the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. We can all agree they're fantastic. Add the 11th Amendment, which means these 10 amendments and all amendments following apply to all American citizens, regardless of race, gender, sexuality, or religion. Boom. Now, here's an amendment that says women can vote. Not needed. 11th Amendment covers that. Here's one that says black people can vote. Nope, already covered. 11th Amendment. Here's one that says you can't have slaves. Yeah, 11th Amendment covers that. You can't fucking, yeah. Can't imprison someone without. So yeah, boom. I think that covers it. The 12th Amendment I would consider is all federal positions minus, aside from the president, shall be appointed by the state government. So we elect the president. We elect Congress. Those are our representatives. They're not federal representatives. They are our representatives. We don't elect senators. The state chooses them. Okay. Who chooses them? The governor? No. The governor appoints, and our state reps elect them. Oh. Wait a minute. Our state rep, I don't know who my state rep is. Well, you should. Because your state rep is supposed to be the person between you and the governor. And the congressman is supposed to be the person between you and the president. And the senator is the person that is between the governor and the president. That's checks and balances. So who should elect state reps? You and me. All right, well, who should elect state senators? The mayors. What do you mean the mayors? My mayor, my fucking county mayor or city mayor, they should have a county mayor, really. They should have a person in charge of the county and then a person in charge, if deemed necessary, a person in charge of the city. But if the city's that big and has that much of a population, then they should just have a fucking, be their own county. But yes, the county mayor, the county elects one person to run that county. They pick a senator. These 5 counties pick a senator to be, hey, the mayor has an issue. The mayor has an issue, and he talks to the senator, and the senator talks to the governor, and the governors have the same thing for the president. And that's what I think is the best solution. The European Union, I struggle with, because all the nations of Europe coming together is a good thing. But having some centralized government taking control, that's a bad thing. What is up, my brother? Oh, you muted yourself. All right. Well, I am rounding up to the 1 hour mark. So, my apologies. I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. But I am going to reach out to Splatter, and there should be another stream coming. His channel or mine, you'll have to subscribe to us both to find out.